Hey, Cece got a
Cece
talk
got a
show.
talk
You
show.
got a talk show? Go ahead
Go
now,
ahead now,
Cece.
Cece.
Hi, welcome to the Safe Space CC Show. I'm Safe Space CC, aka Sinclair, the nature loving psychotherapist. I am so excited about today's episode. So let's get into it. Today's life lesson is brought to us by Centennial. As you guys know, I matriculated and graduated from North Carolina State University in 2016 and 2017. This picture was taken when I was about to go to graduate school. It was taken on North Carolina State's Centennial campus, which is the engineering and like textile part of campus. I was there looking for a building, and as I was breezing past this walkway, I saw this beautiful scene, and I was like, I gotta take a picture. I saw it, and one, it reminded me of my grandma when she does jigsaw puzzles and how she fusses about all the pieces looking the same. And then it also reminded me of like, man, this is just a calm scene. Like I can really just check out of what's going on in my life and just focus on this beautifulness. And then like the bird in the frame, even though it was blurry, just made it and just added to the beautiful scenery. So today's life lesson is be mindful in nature. And as you can see, I am here in nature. I am at one of my favorite lakes, Lake Johnson. I started coming here in 2013. I came here because I needed, after my second car accident, I put on some pounds and I needed to, after my second car accident, I put on some pounds and I needed to lose weight. I don't like going to the gym. I don't like exercising, but I love nature. So I was like, let's go to the trail, see what that's hitting for. I came to the trail and not only fell in love with nature, but I fell in love with running. I actually just finished a 3-mile power walk. It was very fun. Being mindful in nature. As I've talked about many times on this show, there are not a lot of things that are in our control in life. These bugs are loving me. We are not in control of other people's actions. We are not in control of, what goes on in the world. We're not even in control of what we think or feel, but we are in control of how we respond to those thoughts and feelings. We are in control of how we decide to treat people. But even still, with knowing that we're only in control of certain things, life still weighs heavy on us. We still have these emotions associated with things that are out of our control. And I like telling myself, and I like telling clients and families and friends, you can't do anything about the situation, but do something with these emotions. Do something with the energy from these emotions. Somebody made you mad? Write a letter, call them everything but a child of God, and burn that letter and throw it away. Because what else can you do? And since we're out here in nature, I'll say I like telling people to run away from your problems. Run away from your problems. When I'm on this trail, whether I'm power walking or jogging, I'm thinking about whatever is on my mind, especially something that is out of my control. Like, let's say for instance, I want $50,000, and right now I don't have $50,000, and that makes me sad. So I'm going to use this whole time on this trail to think about how can I get $50,000. By the end of this trail, am I going to have $50,000? No. But I will have some ideas on how I can put myself in position to make $50,000. Does that make sense? I definitely think that my perspective in regards to being mindful in nature is biased because I've loved nature since I was a little girl. Of course, there are people who don't like nature or people who have never been introduced to the beautifulness of being outside in all of God's creations. But when there's a lot going on, we need to use our coping skills. I like calling them tools in our mental health toolbox because we can have different tools that are necessary at different times. Like with the regular toolbox, you're not going to walk around with a hammer just because. But if you need to hang a picture, you might can pull out that hammer to nail that picture together. So with our mental health toolbox, some days we want to journal because we have a lot on our minds. Other days we don't need a journal. So let's leave that journal tool in our mental health toolbox. But there's still something off. So let's bake a cake. Let's pull out that tool of our mental health toolbox. The biggest tool or the most used tool in my mental health toolbox is being in nature. I just like being in nature because I get to just check out. I get to check out. I get to run away from whatever is going on. Because by the time I finish running, I ain't got time to focus on these sad emotions. I'm just trying to catch my breath. Now I know that me saying that, it's like, okay, but then you're gonna calm down, you're gonna relax, and you're gonna be okay. You're still gonna have those thoughts. You're right, you are. But you went running, right? We went running. We let off some energy. That's a plus. We did something that's good for our physical health. That's a plus. And we probably came up with some thoughts or processed some thoughts that we hadn't given time to prior to us being on this walk. So just give walking a try, or just being outside. Spend time alone outside, thinking of all of your stressors, and then ask yourself, what are the solutions to these stressors? And if there aren't any solution to the stressors, how can we deal with the emotions associated with these stressors? It's as simple as that. Some things have gray areas, but a lot of things are black and white. You're either going to do something or you're not going to do something. You either like something or you don't like something. You either want something or you don't want something. You either see something or you don't see something. It's yes or no. And once you make that decision on which side of the fence you're on, go from there to meet the needs of whatever needs you have in that moment. Lately, with work, because I'm a therapist, I felt very irritated because I wasn't being true to who I am. I've wanted to help people since I was a little girl, and I'm finally at a place in life where I can do that in a way that feels right for me. And so I realized that in my sessions, I wasn't keeping it real with my clients. I wasn't being Cece. I was trying to be professional Sierra. Blah. Who wants to do that, right? So actually last week I started keeping it real with them. I was like, can I keep it real with you? And they're like, yeah. Like every one of them said, yeah. And we assessed what's in their control and what's not in their control. And at the end of our conversations, did we solve problems? No, we didn't. We didn't solve problems. Therapy is not about solving problems. But we did have a clearer understanding of how we can get through the day to day. Because life is hard. Life is difficult. And on top of life being hard and difficult, we have all these emotions that we're just trying to understand. And we have all these emotions we're trying to understand, and some of us feel like we have no one to reach out to discuss these emotions. So we're just a big ball of mental gymnastics, not knowing left from right, up from down, bugs all on us, freaking out, full of pollen, we sneezing, all of that. So whatever's going on, talk to yourself, talk to your support system, use the tools in your mental health toolbox to help you process whatever you're experiencing, whatever you're going through. And if there's a solution to your stressors, figure out the solution. And if there's not a solution to the stressors, figure out how we're going to deal with these emotions associated with these stressors. When life gets tough, ask yourself, am I going to keep going or am I not going to keep going? If you're going to keep going, figure out how you're going to keep going. Ask yourself, what is my why? What am I doing this for? I didn't film a Safe Space episode the first week of April because I wanted to go to Dreamville concert. I ended up not going, but me and my brother cousin Mill Chamberlain watched it together, and it was an amazing experience. The second weekend in April, it rained. I wanted to film it outside, but things just didn't happen that way. But in the last episode, I think Bestie and we discussed to be patient and wait for your season. And I try to practice what I say. Like I try to practice what I preach. And I was a little upset that I didn't get to film these episodes. I was upset that I didn't go to Dreamville. But what is harping on those thoughts going to do? It passed. Dreamville passed. The weekend passed. I didn't get to film the episodes. Oh well. I say, oh well, but that makes me sad. I am so sad. I'm beating myself up. I feel like I am unmotivated. I feel like a loser because this is my baby, right? But I didn't do what was my baby. I know logically. I just said I didn't go to Dreamville. I had a great time with my brother cousin. Logically, it rained Easter weekend. Things didn't align to where I can film. But emotionally, I'm still sad. So I have to ask myself, what is the solution? I can't go back in time. Can't stop the weather. But I can deal with the emotions associated with missing those weeks filming. So how am I going to work through this sadness? I'm going to kind of Lake Johnson and power walk. Maybe I'll get back to jogging eventually, but right now I'm power walking and it's fun. This was fun. I think I'm going to film outside some more. Maybe next time I have more people with me. As always, if you want to be a co-host on the show, hit me up. We could work it out. I look forward to whatever is in store next week. So join me and let's work through our trauma together.
The Safe Space CC show. I like that, CC. Let's work through our trauma together.